I think the best example came up last summer. It was after Elizabeth Warren announced stakeholder capitalism, which will be something we'll be hearing a lot of, I think, in the next
Yeah.
couple of years.
Let's talk
Uh,
about that.
Jamie Dimon, so it's a proposal that companies should be legally required not just to do the best for the shareholders, but also to respond to all sorts of stakeholders, to have unions on their board of directors, and basically do whatever Mrs. Warren and Senator Warren and her colleagues tell them to do. Jamie Dimon, the head of the Business Roundtable, organized, I think it was like 100 CEOs to say, oh, yes, we're all for stakeholder capitalism. We love this thing. uh, uh, Senator Warren wrote back quickly saying, "You're not getting off so easy. We intend for you to actually do it this time. No, just PR stuff." Remember, it's a good example of quickly caving, sensing who's about to take power, and quickly trying to show support with donations and at least PR, if not actual actions.
Yeah. So there's an interesting dichotomy there. And, stakeholder capitalism coming from the companies themselves, I don't find that all that objectionable. This idea that a business should look to more than just profit, that it should look to the common good. But there's a huge difference between that sentiment and government imposition of that sentiment. There's a huge difference, and one is okay in my mind, and one is not.
A good profit maximizing company will do a good job of stakeholder capitalism all on its own. This goes back to a famous essay Milton Friedman wrote that sent the whole thing off about 50 years ago, saying companies should just maximize profits. Because if you're a company and you mistreat your workers and you pollute the environment and you don't keep up a reputation for quality products, you won't be making profits for very long.
Right.
So being a good citizen is just part of making profits. Yes, what it is a bunch of words on top of government control, or not just government control by the bowels of government, control by the regulators, by the senators, by the people who force you to have stakeholders on your board of directors who have all sorts of political aims, not in the interests necessary of society as a whole, and certainly not in the interest of the shareholders.
How does this debate play out amongst economists? I mean, how do left-leaning economists sort of justify some of their theories? I mean, do they? Well, you know what? I'll just leave it at that. How does this play out? How do these theories play out?
Economists are human beings like everyone else, and many people go into economics because they want to save the world. And so economics is unfortunately, as a non-experimental science, fairly adaptable to finding questions to which the answer is the answer. And it is funny, actually, how so many proposals go on through the year, the answer always remaining the same and just the question changing or the rationale for it changing. So sadly, economists are able to twist their arguments and their evidence just like everybody else. But the marketplace of ideas at least forces you, in well-done economics, you have to make the argument and substantiate it with data, and then at least slowly but surely one can look at it and say, that really doesn't add up.